Hi, Mom. Sorry, just always wanted to do that. Last fall, for many of us, the glass was clearly half empty. This spring, it feels half full. Is the difference the election, the vaccines, the fact that Black Lives Matter is looking more and more like a real movement and not just a moment? Or is the difference just that it is the spring, the time of year when the earth comes back to life, when the new growth replaces the dead wood, and when hope again springs, however briefly, in the hearts of Red Sox fans? In a world with thousands of cultures and traditions, too many of which are in unnecessary conflict, we all agree on this one thing, that spring symbolizes birth, growth, and hope for the future. For me, when I listen to Alondra, Jalen, Olga, Musa, Israel, and Eric, their spirit, talent, insight, and resilience fill up my cup. When I see someone as talented and driven as Allison Feaster, leading a major corporation on a 10-year social justice mission, it fills my cup. When I listen to public defenders and education attorneys talk with deep affection about their clients and with passion about their advocacy efforts, their intelligence and compassion fill my cup. Knowing that there are hundreds of you out there coming from all walks of life, all willing to commit time, effort, money, to creating a future in which all kids are provided with the education they deserve and need, fills my cup. Youth, justice, action, those are the things that fill all our cups. For a society, children and youth in the spring of their lives are the future. Children, like gardens and hope, need to be nurtured to thrive. If Black lives actually matter, it can't just be about convicting the occasional cop of murder or some other abuse. It has to be about caring about and providing equitably for all our children. Justice requires action. Edmund Burke, some 300 years ago, said, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing." Young people today have no intention of standing by and doing nothing. This year, Amanda Gorman, a 22-year-old poet, addressing the entire nation on live TV, gave us the same message. She said, "We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation, become the future. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain, if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left." That is the voice of spring, because youth look forward, youth value action, youth are the very embodiment of change. And youth is speaking to us all the time in a myriad of ways. Adults and institutions need to do a better job listening. We need to listen to Amanda Gorman and her whole generation, or we need to get out of the way. For some of us, the change in administrations feels like a fresh start for America. For others, the pain of 400 years of both overt and subtle oppression has yet to abate. Ms. Gorman tells us that inaction and inertia are essential for inequity to flourish. This past year, when it came to developing and distributing a vaccine, we showed incredible know-how. Never has a vaccine of such importance gotten into so many arms so fast. Unfortunately, even unprecedented ingenuity has inequity baked in. Data shows racial disparities in COVID-19 vaccinations throughout the country. And internationally, underdeveloped countries continue to be ravaged by the virus, despite the existence of a cure. The pandemic affected all of us, but it did not affect all of us equally. Our Black and Brown communities experienced significantly more poverty, illness, and death. And the young people in those communities experienced profoundly more disruption to their educational experience. Every stage of the pandemic, from shutdowns to the vaccine rollout, brought inequities into clearer focus. In our poorer school districts, we knew that remote learning was not working. We just wrung our hands and blamed it on the epidemic. Towns and families with resources made it work. They did not stand by and let inaction and inertia harm the future of their children. The pandemic really only put an exclamation point on the educational inequities in this state. It is no secret that we have failed generation after generation of children of color who just want the same chance to learn and grow as white children. They just want the chance to march ahead and build a better world than the one we are leaving them. And we must work together with them to achieve that goal. Inertia and inaction, in other words, failure, has been an option for too long. And we need to make sure that's no longer the case. In the year 2000, about the time YAF was founded, there were well over 3,000 children held at DYS at any given moment. Today, there are 314. That did not just happen. A lot of people overcame inertia and inaction. Schools, probation, DYS, community-based organizations, the legislature, the courts, some law enforcement, and YAD all made changes. Often changes that made adults working in those systems uncomfortable. Sometimes so uncomfortable that they dug in and resisted with all their might. Some still do. Real change always requires discomfort. We should celebrate what we have accomplished, but sustained change requires stamina, determination, and pain. We have a long way to go to achieve our goal of leaving behind a better world than the one we inherited. With your support, child advocates in this state are not succumbing to the ever-present siren song of inaction and inertia. They are using their formidable advocacy skills every day to demand the appropriate education, which should be the birthright of every child. They are bold and fierce. They are merging right with might to assure all our children the opportunity to march towards their futures with confidence and hope. They will leave behind schools, courts, communities, and a country better than the ones we were left. Our children are begging us to not keep making the same blunders. Working together, an excellent and equitable education system is within reach. We can fill the cups of all our children, but we will all have to act. No one will do it for us. As Ms. Gorman told us, there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.